it's that time again. We got CAWs, we got reviews. They're going to go on this handy dandy tier list. As always, we're still on 2K24, so if you want to go ahead and submit a CAW, that is the easiest way to do it so that we don't have the community creation split. Go ahead and submit your CAWs to the hashtag breadstick, and who knows, you might be on the next video. So without any further ado, let's get into the tier list. So to kick things off today, we have Angelina right now. First impressions, I'm going to have to take the shades off for this one, because this is a really cool looking CAW. So the morph on this is actually really nice. I like that, but I also like the fact that the face paint is there as well. Now, with the thing with grayscale is that you're often not going to get as much bleed. There is a little bit of like harshness on certain parts of the face, but you're really not going to see that when it's further away. So working with grayscale kind of gives you that small bit of an advantage, but it's still a really good morph. The eyes could be tweaked a little bit. I think you can kind of see there that, like, in fact, let me actually, like, hey, we're going to use the power of editing. We're going to zoom in on the eyes so you can just see there. It could do a small little tweak on the morph, and I think the lips are fine. The nose is fine as well. The eyes, I guarantee there's probably like eyeshadow or something that's going to make sure that that's not a problem. We will see when we get into the gear. So for this, we actually have two versions of the gear. So we have one that's completely colored, and I really like this. We're going to take a quick little look at the, yeah, so you've used makeup to cover that up. So yeah, that's not a problem. But one thing I really like about this this CAW and whatnot is the fact that you do have the really colorful gear. I think that this works really well. I want to see the entrance. This might be, for the first time ever, this might be a time where I actually look at entrances for these CAWs, because I'm really curious to see if this has a timeless Tony Storm-esque entrance, because that's what it really feels inspired by. But I really like this gear, and I really like it in grayscale form too, because I feel like the big issue with grayscale attires is that sometimes they often lose their impact and they lose like their detailing. But this one, like, the pattern is done in such a way where like doesn't lose any of that, and in fact I feel like it gains something when it is grayscale. I like both. I think it's a really good first offering. So where does Angelina Wright go in the tier list? You know what, hey, it's been a little while since we've handed this out, but let me pop the shades back on for this one, because Angelina Wright, welcome my friend to the S tier. Alright, shades off once again, because next up for review we have Anna Valentine. Now, first impressions, I like the look. So big thing here is the lack of face morphing. Like, I really couldn't tell you if there is any, because it genuinely just looks like the old reliable on the women's side. That's always going to hold you down a little bit. Just a little bit of face morphing, right? Like, let me see, because I feel like the cheeks might have been. Nah, 58-36 I think is default. Yeah, I think these are all default measurements. There might be a little bit of face morphing, but if there is, and it's not enough to stand out, right? You've really got to go in with the face morphing. This is what I say every single time, and it is going to hold your CAWs down, trust me, because you want your character to look as unique as humanly possible. And in fact, we're going to full screen whilst I talk about this, because I feel like I talk about this all the time, but I've got to bring it up once again. When you are morphing a face, you are trying to make sure that your CAW looks as unique as humanly possible. So if you're not putting in the time and the effort to make sure that your morph looks unique, right, and you just use the default face or a little bit of face morphing on it, it's not gonna stand out. It's just not, right? And that's not just at you, the creator of Anna Valentine. That goes out to everybody. It's my biggest pet peeve, and I wish more people focused on it a little bit more. But in terms of gear, I like the look. As always, we've got to have a little look at the tattoos. Yeah, the tattoos could be blended just a little bit more, a little bit of opacity, and it's going to make it look a lot more standout. Like, it's going to blend into the skin a lot more, and that's going to be good. I like the hairstyle. I think the hairstyle's nice. I like the two-tone. The white might be a little too bright, because on the screens here, it's bright on both, and that can be a bit of an issue. Obviously, I color grade these videos, so it might look a little brighter on your screen as well. I think the face paint is fine. I feel like you could go with something a little bit more unique, but I feel like it fits the vibe you're going with, so I will not speak on that. As far as the gear goes, it's solid. it's solid. I wish there was a little bit more because it is all in-game stuff and that's all well and good, but I feel like with all of the custom tattoos and all of that, I feel like you're kind of holding yourself back by not trying to experiment with custom gear because, yeah, this is all just in-game stuff. And whilst that is all well and good, I feel like you are missing a beat a little bit by not experimenting. So where does Anna Valentine go on the tier list? I think it's a solid core, but there's a lot that could be tweaked. So I'm going to say a low B tier. Up next for review, we have Bradley Silverstone. Now, first impressions, I actually really like this look. Now this is what I'm talking about when we talk about face morphing, alright? Now, apologies, my throat sounds a little fried. I don't know what's going on with that. But this is what I'm talking about. When I'm mentioning face morphing, right? When I talk about the good old face morphing, this is what I'm on about. The detail. The levels of detail are brilliant. And it can turn your core from like a C tier to an A tier, maybe even an S tier, even without a face texture. Like, simple, right? Nothing to really say about this. Fantastic face morph. Love the shirt. Gotta say it. Love the shirt. Oh my god. The face of great. Oh, brother. He's got a look, and he's gonna fucking go with it. Man, that's crazy. That's brilliant. This is, yeah, this is what you want. This is absolutely what you want. I'm seeing like Bobby Roode inspired there. I want to see if these are actually like the Bobby Roode. They are. Ah, I see it now, but still incredible. This is incredible. The morph is great. The attire, simple, but to the point. You know what? You know what? We're handing them out like sweets today because Bradley Silverstone, welcome, my friend, to the S tier. Up next for review, we have Gabriel Diaz. Now, first impressions, you know me, I like me a hardcore dude, and this guy screams hardcore, so hell yeah, man, hell yeah. So, the morph is nice. There's a little bit of color bleed, not too bad. The nose lines up well, the mouth lines up well, all of the technical elements are there. Like I said, skin color pickup could be a little better, but like when zoomed out, it's not too bad. Yeah. Overall, really solid. So, the tattoos are blended in really nicely as well. I like the back tat. Is there any bleed on that? No, I think it's like perfect. That's crazy. That's actually really, really good. I like the overall feel, man. I love the vibe of this core. It's really cool. Yeah, man. Oh, wow. Wait, hold on. Is this like custom stuff on there too? Hold on a minute. Are we doing attention to... Oh, hell yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for, man. Like, when I'm talking about, like, detail to really make a core stand out, this is what I'm looking for, right? It's simple but effective. Look, you've even got stuff on there too. Like, damn, man, you've knocked out the park. This is one hell of an episode. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is crazy because I love the look of this core. I really do. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt as well. Like, come on now. I love it when hardcore dudes just have like the wildest shirts, right? Some have bands. Some have like weird ones. I want to do a hardcore dude that has, hang on, let me like full screen this. I want to make a core, I really do, that has the T-Rex logo on a shirt. I think it'd be really funny. I don't know why, I just think it'd be really funny. Just a hardcore dude with that. But yeah, no, this is great. I feel like the skin color on the face might let you down just a tiny bit. I don't know how you fix that personally. I feel like if you tweak that, I thought you'd be an S tier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Gabriel Diaz, I have to do it. It's already high A tier. It's already high A. So next up for review, we have Louis Hades. Getting hardcore vibes from the first impressions. Actually really like this look. So yeah, again, this is what I mean. Face morphing wins the day. Like, look at the detail, right? Like, you've got the blemishes and the wrinkles. You've got all of the stuff that actually makes this core stand out and feels unique. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for people to suddenly master Photoshop and, you know, bang out a face texture that looks brilliant. Just use in-game. Just use the stuff in-game. Come on. You know, it adds so much if you just pay a little bit of detail, put a little bit of time in, you get stuff like this, and this looks really nice. It really does. So yeah, look at this. Nicely blended tattoos. You got body hair on there, which is something you don't see a lot. I'll be real, you don't see that a whole lot. Is that a scar? Hold on, hang on a god dang darn diddly moment. Hold on a minute. Ooh, that's nice, because that kind of looks like a tattoo, but it's not. I would probably blend that just a little bit, and I reckon that would look a lot more realistic. It takes a lot to blend scars to make them look like incredibly realistic, but I reckon you can do it. I reckon you got it. Yeah, no, I really like the look of this core. I really do. Then you got like the additional stuff there as well, like the cuts and the scars and all of that. Just add detail, and that's like always a good thing. The attire might look a little simple, but he's a hardcore dude, so I kind of look past it in that sense, right? And honestly, with the amount of cores that have been submitted that look like hardcore dudes, if you haven't already, go ahead, check out the description. We got a thing called Open Challenge Night here on the channel, where people can submit their cores and they get a championship match on an episode of Open Challenge Night. You can put down the hardcore title, but if I like your core, I'll probably put you in any match. We do need people for the hardcore division, so who knows? It could be your lucky day. You could get a match on Open Challenge Night. Go ahead, check it out. Might as well. Cheap plug. But where does Louis Hades go on the tier list? Because we kind of looked at everything, to be honest. Honestly, I don't know if the scar's meant to be a scar or a tattoo. And for that reason and that reason alone, high A tier. And now our last core for the video is Rebecca Wicked. Now, first impressions, I actually really like this look. I really do. So I can already tell that the morph is pretty solid. The mouth could be better. That's probably like my one takeaway, but everything else is pretty solid. I like it. I think there's a bit of bleed. Yeah, there's a small bit of bleed and a little bit of a color mismatch, but it's honestly a solid look. Eyebrows could be a little bit better, but again, that's just a personal preference thing. And then gear-wise, I'm liking the look. I just wish that there was a little bit more uniqueness to it, right? Like, you've got the Tegan Nox stuff, which is fine. It's a really cool looking top, but I am looking for unique elements here. And the Shotzi bottoms work as well, but again, I'm looking for that spark, right? I'm looking for people to take things and to make it their own, to make it unique. And whilst I appreciate the overall look, I'm not seeing it, right? Like, I wish there was a little bit more in the way of unique elements. I'm liking the hair with the face and all of that as well. Is there any like makeup and whatnot? There's a small little bit. Yeah, honestly, solid look. Let's have a quick little look at the entrance gear as well. Okay, hold on. All right, so that's pretty unique, because you don't see people doing that. You don't see people using the Tony Storm jacket and then only turn it into one color. That's quite cool, actually. I'm not seeing the full vibe, right? Like, maybe this is one of those characters where it's harder for the character to come across this way, but I'm liking it. I just wish there was a little bit more to it, because you've got a really good base here. Now I want to see a little bit more of the Wicked, right? You've got a last name of Wicked. Let's see that a little bit more. Where does Rebecca Wicked go on the tier list? I would say this one might be a little bit controversial. I'm going to say a high B tier. So that was the core review. Once again, we are still on 2K24. So if you are on that and you've still got cores to submit, go ahead, submit them to the hashtag breadstick, and who knows, you might be on the next video, you might be on one in the future. But thank you all for tuning in. More core reviews will be here, and if you've already seen all the core reviews, then maybe consider checking out this video. See ya!